So, when I show you the box score of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you will probably say he had a solid game, something that's normal to us by now. And some might even say, look at the number of free throw attempts, he's foul baiting to get that 30. Well, we'll get into that. But what if we advance it even further and show you that he had a true shooting percentage of 78.3% with a net rating of 30.6? Pretty much, the game tilted as the Nuggets never had an answer when Shai was on the floor. But to understand his impact fully, we first have to dive into his ability to create. With Shai having many moves at his disposal, you have to be ready for anything to be thrown at you. So I want you all to guess what happens when Shai initiates the bump here on Peyton Watson. For those of you that watched the game, you already know what happened, so don't cheat. But if you didn't, you would assume he would flow right into the step back for that mid-range jumper. This is where being versatile comes in handy, as Shai can use the space created with the bump to step through across Watson to then finish off the reverse.
He just goes right past Watson and spins it home. Creativity from the MVP.
Just like that last play, we see Shai navigate on the same side of the floor with an identical push towards the basket, but this time, since his defender is bracing for impact so he can hold his ground, and with Watson ready to rotate down for the help, attacking the basket off the bump wouldn't be the smartest thing to do in this situation. So here's where we see him go to that fadeaway right over the top. Now, a lot of people like to say that his use of that off arm is a punishable offense to the highest degree. But when you look at the art of basketball, everything is about manipulation, positioning, and the ability to be deceiving. Such as on this attack at Watson off the screen, the ref to call the foul is going to be this one right here on the sideline. So with Shai's off arm being the left one in this situation, it's going to be extremely hard for this ref to be able to see the contact happening. Now that covers the deception. For the manipulation, well, Watson thinks the drive is coming. So he's sliding his feet hard to stay with Shai for the drive, but if Shai is to stop on a dime or snatch back, he would then be way out of place. Now for positioning, it sort of is roped into what I just stated. Since Watson is riding Shai's hip aggressively, SGA can now deliver a slight bump with that off arm while pairing it with an abrupt sidestep, which all uses Watson's momentum and positioning against himself. And what do we have here? A wide open shot. This space creation does numbers on the defense, as you don't want to give up the drive so easily, so you hustle hard to stay with him, but at the same time, you don't want to foul. So that's when you get these freeze frames, where we can see Watson with his arms extended in the air so the ref can't blow the whistle, but now you have no way to brace for that impact when Shai initiates the contact, and all you do is give up another bucket. As you watch these games, you'll see that teams will start to load up on Shai near the elbows, and I want you to remember that for a little later. For now, this is when we see Shai use his navigation skills, as when one angle gets cut off, he'll reset to then begin attacking another way, and if you pay attention to the defender, you can see that he's worried about the drive, which is why he's giving himself so much space with every step, but soon, he finds out that he'll be another victim to that step back butter. Trust me, I understand that some people don't like his game, but you have to see it all through the lens of an artist. Such as on this play, and like many others, Shai isn't worried about his defender at all. He understands that his defender is most likely going to bite on anything since they don't want to give up anything easy. So Shai serves Brown the hezzy tween to break off going right, and this is who Shai's really worried about. Peyton Watson is the one Shai will base his next move off of, as if he was to step up, he would attempt to blow by him or drop it off to Dort down low. But since Peyton camped out in the paint in preparation for the drive, Shai just used the sidestep instead to not only avoid a cluttered paint, but to also create separation from Brown, and another 2 points is added to the board. Now I know some of you are thinking, well, this is lackluster defense. Well, I got something for you. When guys play him tight because they know they have help plugging up an angle, Shai doesn't get flustered. When Brown reaches in, Shai counters with a behind the back. And as you can see, Brown is now out of place, giving up that middle for Shai to attack the basket. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where staying 2 steps ahead in the game of basketball is key. Not only would Shai have to meet Valanciunas at the rim if he attacked, but he also knows that Brown will be recovering hard. So that crossover back to the left is used to navigate to his sweet spot.
It's pure.
All of that is pure instincts. He's not just out there saying everything in his head. As when you're an elite player, you learn the correct moves to evade the double team that's sent at you, you understand how to move quick and shifty to move a defender out your view, and once getting to your spot, you know how to avoid getting blocked by fading back while focusing all the way through for straight cash. Yeah, the moves are just tough, and just when you think you have him where you want him here, Shai avoids your trap with a snatchback. With the defense loaded up, you also think you have him contained once again when he pursues this angle, but now he goes even deeper in the bag to pull out that spin move, take the hit, and still drop it in. The things he does on the floor are truly absurd at times, and a lot of people will chalk his entire game up to foul baiting. So before we dive deep into that and his playmaking skills, we have to highlight that scoring like this may make you want to place trades on OKC to win games and not feel like you're rigged. So that's why you gotta delete all those traditional sports books and come join Polymarket. They're the largest prediction market where you can use the knowledge from my analysis to make trades at real time on any game in any state. It's simple to make a trade. Like last night when OKC went against Denver, I bought in at 57% odds for OKC to win. And with Shai always having it out for the Nuggets, I figured he'd have a masterclass performance, which led to a Thunder win for me to cash out at $746. So now I can go ahead and order me some new Shais to hoop in. Polymarket makes it easy by displaying odds as percentages, and you don't get locked out like traditional sportsbooks will do to you, which means you can cash out at any time during the game or get in on the action at any time. If you were to win big on a traditional sportsbook site, they'll take away $9 in fees, but Polymarket only takes away 10 cents. So use my code MASTERY10 for $10 when you sign up. No credit card, no deposit. Just make sure you use my code and come join the revolution with Polymarket. Now let's look at how Shai was getting to the line. For the first example, he drives hard to the rim to get stopped baseline, and with him knowing the defense is looking for that shot, he serves the up fake to get Watson on that trampoline, and then draws the foul when going for the shot. You tell me, bait or legit foul? This honestly looked like something Kobe would do, so I'm gonna go ahead and say legit foul. For the next example, Shai pushes downhill to use a spin move to get into the lane, and he very well could have went up on this left side to sell the call, but he does try to avoid the contact by going under the rim, and if we're to pause it right here, you can see the contact made to the head, which sends him to the line for 2. I'm pretty sure that's a no-brainer since he was hit on the head, so we'll put that in the legit foul column. Now on this play, it's really a toss-up between if you see basketball as an art form or just about putting the ball in the basket. Because Shai definitely could have pushed towards this outside block here and potentially got a left-handed layup over Val. But he instead decides to angle his drive into Val's space, making it hard for the ref to not call the contact when the big body tries to swat the ball through him. I mean, hey, do you want to say he drew a legit foul, or do you want to say he baited that for the ref to call it? Me personally, I think the initial body contact was fine, but the swipe down is what makes the whistle blow, so I'm gonna go with legit foul on this one. Once more, we get to see SGA attack the basket, and I mean Brown doesn't even try to jump to give a real contest, so this is an obvious foul. Some of you may hate it, but when guys rise into fadeaways, it's pretty natural for your legs to be slightly in front of you when you fade back, and at the same time, the defender has to give you room to land, so this is an easy call for this ref to make. And then on this play, Shai brings the ball low on the attack to draw the contact on the swipe down from Spencer, and honestly, I'm gonna go with bait on this one, because we could have easily played on instead of stopping the game. I'm actually curious to know how you rank these calls, so let me know in the comments. But to get back to something I wanted you to remember earlier, it was all about how the defense would load up on Shai. You can see that when Shai has the one-on-one matchup, Murray is already loading up near that elbow to give Watson some sense of security to play tighter. But this just leads to an easy send over to Wallace for the tray ball. In other times when they load up, it'll lead right into a double team where Shai can swing it right back to J. Will for a top of the key 3-pointer. Honestly, it's not smart to load up and give up these easy shots. But if you aren't in these lanes, you'll allow Shai to attack the rim, which will then force you to slide over, and now you're giving up an even more open shot. These blowbys you're seeing would constantly force Denver to shift their entire defense to Shai, and time again it would be open deep balls for the Thunder. I understand that you want to stop Shai, but this just opens up his ability to be more of a playmaker, and with the team that shoots very well on the road, this is something you don't want to give up over and over again. It's really starting to feel like Shai has unlocked cheat codes when he's on the floor, but you tell me how you feel in the comments below and let's discuss it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.